Fix It Friday. Today I'm going to show you how to fix the hum in a guitar. So let's talk about why you get hum in the first place. Now, there's two reasons, and the first of which is that we're constantly being bombarded by signals. They come from our cell phones and the stage lights and the wireless microphones and the power in the walls and the radio station down the street, and it's just everywhere. And unfortunately, everything about you and a guitar looks like an antenna. You act as an antenna, your strings act as an antenna, your pickups, and even the wires in between the components inside your guitar act as antennas. And so what we're trying to do is kind of either block these signals or minimize their effect. And we have a few options for this. One, and I think this is the one everyone is most familiar with, and this is shielding. And so what we do is we line the inside of our guitar with like a metal foil or aluminum foil, and then we ground that. And what that does is it picks up that signal and traps it and sends it to ground. And that effectively blocks that signal and keeps it away from all the other stuff over here, which is our signal wires and the inside of our knobs and that sort of thing. And so shielding is very, very important, and I'll show you how to do that in just a little bit. But we also need to talk about a couple of more ways that we can minimize these signals. And number two is called phase cancellation. And say this is the signal that this is the bad signal, the one that we don't want to have. Well, what we can do is pick up the opposite of that signal, add it to itself, and it comes out as nothing. So And that's because anytime you have a positive value and you add it to the negative value, that's the same value. So let's say this is 2 and this is negative 2. If you add those two together, you wind up with 0. And so if we are able to pick up the opposite of that signal, add it to itself, we'll get 0. And that is as easy as twisting your wires together, because the way that this works magnetically is if you apply a signal down here, which is the signal that we want to keep, it will go back and forth through here, through the wires like it's supposed to. But any magnetic outside force, the black wire will pick it up positive and the white wire will pick it up negative, and it will add together in the amplifier and cancel each other out. So that's really important. And then the third method is we have the choice to pick up a smaller version of the signal that's given to us. So if we have a bad signal here, we definitely want to pick up a smaller signal or a smaller version of it. And we can do that by minimizing the area of our wire or making our wires as short as possible. And also, we have the option to pick up a higher frequency that we can't hear instead of a frequency that's within the audio range. And that is another benefit of twisting your wires together, because instead of two long wires laying next to each other that act as two big antennas, the antenna portion of twisted wire is only this big. So it is more reactive to higher frequencies. And anything smaller than an inch is out of the audio range. So if we can twist this smaller than an inch, so that our things our twists are smaller than an inch, we can get our signals that are picked up by this wire out of the audio range. So the other reason we wind up with hum is voltage difference between parts inside the guitar. And if you look at this diagram here, we've got our ground wire connected from our pickup to a switch to a knob to another knob, and then finally to the amplifier. And if you don't know a lot about electronics, you'll just have to take my word for it. But anytime you have a distance of wire, the farther away that you get, the more of a voltage difference you will have. And so you might wind up with a few millivolts between this knob and this pickup, or this knob and this pickup, or this switch and this knob. And what we really need to do is minimize the voltage differential between these parts. And so this is a better way of wiring your guitar. If you take your ground wires and you connect them all together at the same point and then go to the amplifier, you minimize the distance between this knob and the switch and this knob and the pickup, and they're all kind of equal and balanced. And this is called star grounding, and it's very, very helpful for reducing hum. So let's get to applying this to the guitar. So here's the guitar before, and as you can see, the wires that come from the pickup are pretty long, and they don't have shielding because they're behind this pick guard that's not shielded. And then we've got a few little grounding things that aren't that big a deal, but we're going to go ahead and reground everything to the back side of this pot and shorten up all our wires, twist our signal wires together, and add some shielding, and then ground all of our shieldings to the same spot. And I'll show you what that looks like. So that took about an hour, and as you can see, I have lined each one of my cavities with foil, as well as the pick guard. And you can use aluminum foil and spray adhesive, or I use this this aluminum tape. I got this in the duct section at the hardware store. They also make copper tapes. I think Slug Away is a copper tape, and you can actually buy shielding tape at your guitar supply house. But it doesn't really matter between the copper and the aluminum shielding. I haven't noticed any difference. So, like I said, I've shielded each cavity, and each one of the cavities has a ground wire that runs back to our potentiometer, which I've made our star point for our ground. The pick guard I did with a little overlap of tape. That way we'll get a good connection between the pick guard, and it will ground the pick guard. And you really don't want to put any more tape than you need, because as soon as you start adding more tape than you need, you may pick up more signals, more bad signals that you don't want. So just use the minimal amount of tape that you need. And from then, I have twisted my pickup wires together on their way to the switch, and the output wire towards the jack. And you don't want to twist the pickup positive wires together, because you'll lose signal that way. For example, this is the neck pickup, and this is the bridge pickup. These are the positive wires for each, and you do not want to twist these together. You only want to twist the signal that they produced. And I shortened up some of the signal wires in here. There was some weird grounding action going on in here, so I made the potentiometer ground to this one star point. And that's it. That's all you got to do. I'm really confident this will help you with your hum. And let's get this thing put back together. Thanks for watching the video. I hope that helps you get some of the hum out of your guitar. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, and subscribe if you'd like to see more like this. And until next Friday, rock on, my friends.